another one in a second before they take us?
Yeah. Get you a little bit more in the sun, sorry.
It's all right, just blind me.
Yeah, you're not blind the other day.
Probably me. Thousands? I'll say this large group of people.
I say thousands is easy.
Okay.
You're right. I'd say yes.
Do you think it's thousands?
I do, absolutely. I think it's thousands. I don't think you're off at all saying that. All right, my dear.
Ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Oh. Today, thousands of people at the 2020 Women's March marched from Freedom Plaza down behind. Oh, let me do that one more time. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Today, thousands of people attended the Women's March here in D.C. And although the size wasn't, struggling. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Today, thousands of people marched through D.C. streets as part of the 2020 Women's March. And although it wasn't as large as we have seen in years past, marchers say this march is more urgent. Okay, I'll do that one more time.
Oops, go ahead. Okay.
3, 2, 1. Today, thousands of people attended the Women's March here in D.C. and marched from Freedom Plaza down to the Capitol and to the Supreme Court. And although the size of the crowd wasn't as large as we have seen in years past, people who were a part of this say this year is more urgent. Good?
Cool.
Usually my masks are comfy, like that material. This one, I like broke my nose as a child, and it's pushing on it just the right way. It's like hitting the bone.
Someday we'll get these on.
I know.
Next year, maybe next year around this time, hopefully, right?
Hopefully. Normally I'm cool and great. It's just today, this is new, and it's got a wire.
Oh, can you bend it too?
I can.
But it doesn't.
Then it pushes on my chubby cheeks. So then it pushes on my cheeks. All right, I think they're taking it. Matt's typing in Slack. I have a feeling it's to tell us they are gonna take it.
I should walk up to where this is actually.
They're live. Yep. Here, come to me real quick. Hi guys, if you are just tuning in, we are here by Freedom Plaza in downtown DC, where the Women's March just wrapped up a rally. They've been out here for a few hours now, and they are lining up for the march now, and they're going to be marching down Pennsylvania around the Capitol to the Supreme Court. You guys can see everyone starting to line up now, and according to this event permit, we're expecting 10,000 people here today. Not sure the total number of people that are here right now, but they are noting that this is a socially distanced event. From what we could see in some areas, people were attempting to, but you can see right now, close quarters, people getting ready for that march. Also want to add they had hand sanitizer and a lot of masks that are being worn. But again, you can kind of see how things are looking right now, but there's no exact way for us to tell right now how many people are here. I was here in March, and it looks like this crowd is not as large as it was then. And I talked with some people who are out here marching today, and they say, yes, because of COVID, there are fewer numbers to their understanding, but they said that this march specifically had more urgency than in years past. I talked to the woman who came out here as soon as the election, the inauguration in January, and she said, yes, numbers are smaller, but this is more urgent. And organizers say they are really wanting to spread the message that people need to get out and vote. They had an hour of speeches, which now they're getting ready for that march. Lots of signs and a lot of RBG signs. A lot of people dressed up as RBG, people dressing their dogs up as the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So a lot of mention for her today, and also the organizers are saying, on their website it says, quote, "We are holding socially distant actions across the country to send an unmistakable message about the fierce opposition to Trump and his agenda, including his attempt to fill Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat." So that's what the Women's March website says about the event. Again, no way to tell how many people are out here right now, but there is a large crowd out here right now gathering on Pennsylvania Avenue. And again, the plan is to march down to the Capitol and then around the Supreme Court, where they will stop there as well. And also, in addition to this march here, of course, in DC, organizers said at the beginning, whenever they started their speeches, that rallies were happening all across the country, and they also have a texting option that they have going right now as well. So they have a number that they have been sending updates and information about. So people are participating virtually, and they're participating, they said, in every state across the country today as well. And they said, I believe in Michigan, they were having people participate in a march on boats, so that way they could maintain social distance as well. But of course, the big march is happening here in DC. And if you guys are just tuning in, we are at the Women's March right outside or right beside Freedom Plaza right now. You can see people are lining up and preparing to march. They will be marching down Pennsylvania. They will be going to the Capitol, marching around the Capitol, and ending, I believe, at the Supreme Court. So that is the plan as of right now. You can see a lot of people are here. No way to tell exactly how many people are here right now. The organizers predicted they were expecting about 10,000 people. That's according to the permit that they filed with the city for this march. But again, no way to tell how many, but I have talked with people who have been here for the last 4 years coming out to these marches, and one woman I spoke with said that yes, they don't have the numbers in which they maybe did in previous years, but she did say that the urgency with this march was very important, noting that we are less than a month away from Election Day. And on the website it said this was supposed to be a socially distanced event. We see a lot of people wearing masks, and they did have hand sanitizer stations that were situated as well. And again, this march is expected to get started shortly, where they will march down Pennsylvania to up onto Constitution, around the Capitol, and the Supreme Court. And a lot of what we're seeing today too is people dressed in RBG gear. We're seeing a lot of posters with her face on it, t-shirts with her face on it. Just about everywhere you look, you're bound to see one. And according to the Women's March website, it says, quote, "We are holding socially distant actions across the country to send an unmistakable message about the fierce opposition to Trump and his agenda, including his attempt to fill Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat." And I talked with a mother who brought her 2 children. She had her children dressed up as RBG and her son as John Lewis, and she said that they had come earlier in the week to protest at the Supreme Court, and then they made it a point to come to co-insist with this march, and they were going to be attending as well. See if we can see some of the signs here. We have women's rights or human rights. We have Black Lives Matter. A little earlier we heard from Nene Taylor with the Black Lives Matter DC, and she spoke as well. And you see I Dissent posters, I'm with her posters. So we're seeing everywhere you can kind of take a look down here, you're seeing some sort of sign or poster here. Again, we are at the Women's March in downtown DC at Freedom Plaza on Pennsylvania Avenue. We are preparing to march down to the Capitol and to the Supreme Court. And it sounds like they are getting ready to start right now. We're going to try and give you guys the best view as this is happening. You can hear this starting to march now as they're preparing to start, or chanting, I'm sorry, as they're preparing to march. And when we talk about the size of this event, if you've seen photos or videos of years past, you know this, especially the first march, they had thousands of people here, and you know, same with last March as well. People that have been to those marches over the last few years say that there are fewer people